You are not silent because you don't know English. You are silent because you stop yourself at the last second. The sentence is already in your mind, clear and ready. But when it's time to speak, something inside you holds you back. And later, you keep thinking, I knew it, so why didn't I say it? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are not talking about grammar rules, difficult vocabulary, or speaking techniques. This is something deeper, something most people struggle with but almost no one explains clearly. We are going to uncover the real reason why you stay silent in English, even when you know exactly what to say. And once you truly understand this, your speaking will not just improve, it will start to feel natural and effortless in a way it never did before. Because the real problem is not your English. The real problem is what happens inside your mind in that one critical second before you speak. The moment where everything changes without you even realizing it. The hidden moment that kills your confidence. There is a very small moment that controls everything, and most people never notice it. It happens right after you create a sentence in your mind. You know exactly what you want to say, your thoughts are clear, and for a brief second, everything feels easy and natural. But then your brain interrupts you with a quiet but powerful question. What if I say it wrong? That single thought does not look dangerous, but it slowly takes control of your mind. Your focus shifts from sharing your idea to protecting yourself from making a mistake. Instead of speaking, you begin to judge your own sentence. You start checking every word, every tense, every small detail. You try to improve it, correct it, and make it sound perfect before saying it out loud. And while you are doing this, your confidence quietly starts to drop. Your heart begins to beat faster, your mind becomes crowded, and the sentence that felt so clear just a second ago starts to break apart. It is not because you forgot it, but because fear replaced clarity. Now you are no longer thinking about communication. You are thinking about how you will sound, how people will react, and what they will think if you make even a small mistake. That pressure makes your brain slow down instead of helping you speak. So, you keep editing your sentence again and again inside your head. You replace simple words with safer ones. You shorten your idea, or sometimes you decide not to say it at all. You wait for the perfect version of your sentence, but that perfect version never comes. Meanwhile, the conversation keeps moving forward. Someone else speaks, the topic changes, and your moment quietly disappears. You had the idea, you had the words, but you lost the timing. And this is where most people misunderstand the problem. They think they need more vocabulary, better grammar, or more practice. But the truth is, the real issue is not lack of knowledge. It is lack of trust in your own imperfect voice. Because speaking is not about being perfect. It is about being willing to be slightly wrong and still express yourself. But in that one hidden moment, your mind chooses safety over expression. And that is why you stay silent even when you know exactly what to say. The real enemy. Fear of being judged. What you are really afraid of is not speaking English. You are afraid of being judged while speaking English. That is the real problem, and most people never admit it to themselves. When you are about to speak, your mind is not thinking about communication. It is thinking about people. It starts imagining reactions, expressions, and silent judgments that may not even exist. You think, what if they laugh? What if they notice my mistake? What if I sound stupid? And suddenly, speaking is no longer a simple act. It becomes a risk. Your brain treats that moment like danger. Even though nothing bad is actually happening, your mind reacts as if your identity is on the line. Because in that moment, it is not just about English. It feels personal. You are not just saying a sentence. You are showing a part of yourself. And when something feels personal, the fear becomes stronger. That is why even confident people can become silent when speaking in English. So instead of focusing on your message, your attention shifts completely. You start monitoring yourself from the outside. You listen to your own voice, judge your own words, and try to control everything in real time. But here is the problem. The more you observe yourself, the less natural you become. Speaking is supposed to flow, but overthinking breaks that flow instantly. It is like trying to walk while thinking about every step. The more you control it, the more unnatural it feels. And eventually, your mind decides that silence is safer than risk. So, you stay quiet, not because you are incapable, but because your brain is trying to protect you from something that is not actually dangerous. And this is the truth most people never realize. People are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Everyone is busy with their own thoughts, their own insecurities, their own fears. But your mind creates an imaginary spotlight and puts you under it. And under that pressure, even the simplest sentence starts to feel difficult. That is why you stay silent. Not because you do not know English, but because you feel like you are being watched, judged, and evaluated in that moment. The habit of silence that becomes your identity. The more you stay silent, the more natural it starts to feel. At first, it happens in a few moments. You hesitate once, then again, and slowly your brain begins to recognize a pattern. It starts to believe that staying quiet is the safer and smarter choice. Over time, this is no longer just a reaction. It becomes a habit. In conversations, your mind automatically steps back. Even before you fully form your sentence, a part of you already decides that it is better not to speak. And this is where things go deeper. It slowly becomes part of your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who understands but does not speak. You tell yourself, I am not confident, or I am not good at speaking. And without realizing it, you start living according to that belief. Now every new situation feels the same. Whether it is a class, a meeting, or a simple conversation, your mind follows the same script. Think, hesitate, stay silent. Think, hesitate, stay silent. It becomes automatic. The most dangerous part is that this pattern feels real. It feels like this is just the kind of person you are. But the truth is, this is not your personality. This is a trained response that your mind has repeated so many times that it now feels permanent. Because every time you stay silent, you are teaching your brain something. You are reinforcing the idea that speaking is risky and silence is safe. And your brain learns fast. It remembers what protects you and repeats it again and again. But here is what most people never notice. Every silent moment also builds frustration inside you. You know you had something to say. You know you were capable. But you held yourself back. And that creates a quiet disappointment that stays with you. That frustration slowly turns into self-doubt. You begin to question yourself more, trust yourself less, and expect silence even before the moment arrives. And that is how a simple hesitation turns into a cycle. Not because you lack ability, but because your mind has been trained to choose silence over expression again and again. Breaking the silence loop, where change begins. If silence has become a habit, then it can also be unlearned. But not by learning more grammar or memorizing more words. The change begins when you shift one simple decision in that critical moment. Right now, your mind is trained to choose perfection over expression. You wait for the perfect sentence, the perfect timing, the perfect confidence. But that is exactly what keeps you stuck. So, the first shift is this. Stop trying to sound perfect, and start allowing yourself to sound real. Because real communication is not clean, polished, or flawless. It is slightly messy, sometimes broken, but always honest. In that 1 second when your brain asks, "What if I say it wrong?" you need to answer it differently. Instead of stopping, you move forward anyway. Not with confidence, but with willingness. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your voice may shake. Your sentence may not come out exactly how you planned, and your mind will still try to hold you back. But this time, you do not listen to it. You speak anyway. Because every time you do that, you are teaching your brain a new pattern. You are showing it that speaking is not dangerous, that mistakes are not failures, and that nothing bad actually happens when you express yourself imperfectly. Slowly, that 1 second begins to change. The hesitation becomes smaller, the fear becomes weaker, and your voice starts to come out more naturally. Not because you forced confidence, but because you stopped resisting expression. And this is the truth most people never hear. Confidence does not come before speaking. It comes after you speak, especially when it was uncomfortable. So the next time you feel that moment, do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait to feel perfect. Just say it. Even if it is simple, even if it is not exactly right, even if your voice is not strong. Because that one small action is where everything begins to change. So, the next time you find yourself in that moment, when the sentence is ready but your voice feels stuck, remember this. You are not lacking English. You are just one decision away from breaking that silence. Do not wait for confidence. Do not wait for perfection. Those things are not the starting point. They are the result of showing up and speaking even when it feels uncomfortable. Because every time you choose to speak, even imperfectly, you are slowly becoming the person who no longer stays silent. And that version of you is already there. It just needs one small action to come out. And maybe today, that action is simply this. The next time you have something to say, you do not hold it back. You say it, no matter how it sounds. If you found this helpful, a like really supports the content and helps it reach more people. You can share this with someone who understands English but still struggles to speak naturally. Try writing one simple sentence in English in the comments, without translating, just your thoughts. If you want to keep improving step by step, turn on the bell icon so you do not miss what comes next. Thank you for watching and putting in the effort to improve. It truly means a lot that you chose to spend your time learning with this video.